The first thing is, let's look at the myths. There are three as well. Controlling emotion means suppressing them. Many of us want to suppress emotions. The more you suppress, the more you ignite. It's like quarreling with a person and they keep quarreling back at you. You quarrel until the sun sets. The second is, it's weak to show emotions. Men, we are being brought up by saying men cannot cry in public. Guys, that's a myth. If you're to cry, cry. If you're to laugh, laugh. If you think your happiness is dancing kadodi, dance. Because what you're doing, you're releasing the negative emotion and creating a positive emotion that helps the way you think, the way you think, and the way you react and act with other people. The third is, once I lose control, it's too late. It's never too late. It is how you react after the action. If I slap you and I move, yes, congratulations. We shall become enemies until death do us part. But if I slap you and I become self-aware and I ask myself, how did I think and feel before I slap, then I'll come back and explain myself, you know what, man, it went off hand. I couldn't control, I'm battling so many things, right? And then we become friends and we're going to become happy thereafter. So as leaders, there are things that will befall you. But are you able to manage thyself so that you can manage the other person? Do you think you can listen to somebody if you're angry and they bring a problem to you? Even the good news they'll tell you will make you angry. Happens to us, we are human beings. The first way to manage yourself is, one, authenticity. Who can tell me the most profitable business on the planet today as by 2020? Profitable business that is making billions of dollars. How many of us think it's gold? It's not gold. It's not technology. It's not internet. It's not cotton. It's not coffee. You know what it is? Cosmetics. You know what? Identity. Every morning you wake up to look at yourself in the mirror, you have two options. Is it me or it is not me? And every time you wake up and think it is not you, problems follow you. Everything you see will become inadequate because you already inadequate. Every person you meet, you feel like what they are seeing is inadequate to you. So you keep low-key. That's the word there. I won't delve too much identity and authenticity, we know it. But what I can tell you is that every one of you, as leaders, as individuals before you become leaders, is that there is a reason Allah, God, whoever you believe in created you. There is a purpose. Have you found that purpose? Or you want to be like Gardner? You cannot be like me. Neither can I be like you. But in your space, there is that uniqueness that you have, that the world needs. Leaders, go out and shine. Be yourself, authenticity. And that's how we manage our emotions, by being who you are. The second is exercise. Do you know why Alan came here and gave us those opening exercises? Because exercises help your emotions and help your brains to think straight, to be positive, and develop that dopamine, that love hormone, the excitement hormone, the happiness hormone, which helps the way, or which changes the way you look. Looking at you from here, I wish the video was airing there. You look at yourself, you're all down. That's if I'm talking to myself, you're all, you know why? There is no flow of oxygen in your brain. Some of you are dozing, even the way you're sitting simply shows how much you're consuming. But as leaders, that's why they tell you when you go to these communication skills and what, you need to sit upright, walk upright, put your shoulders up. They ask us what's the function of the shoulder. Balance. Put your head up and become a leader, because when you do that, you will speak and people will listen and will respond. If you put yourself low, that's how people will respond to you. Exercise helps you boost that dopamine hormone that gives you that look, that gives you that excitement, that makes you feel happy. And once you feel happy, just as how you smile to your friends and they smile back, contagious. The third is eat and sleep. What we eat determines how we react. Sleeping, how long or how much should an average human being sleep? Napoleon used to say how many hours? 3 hours. But ladies and gentlemen, I want to put it up to you that it's not how long you sleep, it is how effective you sleep. Look at babies. How long do they sleep? Actually, they sleep enough. Today, China has made it a law that you are allowed to take a nap at your work. Even in class, they have provided these provisions where you can nap, because they know that when you sleep, you rejuvenate. And once you rejuvenate, it affects the way you think, affects the way you feel, and affects the way you react to other people. Yes? Sleep. Have a nap. When you look at your phones, one thing that is hindering us from sleeping, ladies and gentlemen, are our phones. We call it the small screen syndrome. Everybody is touching. They say an average human being today has a concentration span of 8 seconds. But 2015, 2000, it was 12 seconds. Now it is 8. Do you know why? Distraction. You are there, Facebook, Twitter, TikTok, WhatsApp, WeChat, blah, blah. Fair. So how do you live? When you're caught up with things that don't. But I want to tell you, when you look at your phone, there is an answer. You know the eye braille on your phone, or the eye care on your phone? How many of us use it? Few of us. Why do you think the sun, when it's setting, is orange, and when it's rising early in the morning, it is white? That is your hormone. When you understand that, you understand the psychology of your phone and how you can use your phone to manage yourself. The third aspect is empathy. Empathy. What is empathy? As a leader, why do you need empathy? There are 3 misconceptions. One, that empathy means that you have to agree with me for you to be seen to have empathized with me. No, you don't have to agree with me. At times we disagree, but in our disagreement, I feel what you feel. The second myth is that for you to be empathetic, you need to have experienced what I'm experiencing. No, you don't have. How many of us have been hit by the road? Yeah, they're very small. That's why I'm endeavoring to explain, right? How many of us have been, thank you, how many of us have been hit by a moving automobile or bicycle to know that when you're crossing the road, you have to look up, look down, or left and right? So do you have to have experienced something so that you can be empathetic with somebody? No, that's a myth. The other one is that you do not have control over what you feel for the other person. You do. You know what? Experience, thoughts, and emotions can make you realize what the other person is going through. Now, as leaders, how can we empathize so that we can lead effectively? One, you need to learn how to listen attentively. You think leadership is all about speaking? No. Listening. I'm a Christian. Do you know how many words that Jesus Christ spoke? Go count them in your Bible. They come to 215 to 220 words. How many words have you spoke since morning? But whom have you influenced? So leadership is all about listening, the ability, because whenever you listen, that's when you connect, you get to know. Human beings leave clues. They do because they speak so much. And once you listen, you understand so much. Nelson Mandela, in his famous book, go out and read it. Is it Walk to Remember? Or Walk to Freedom? He talked about his father, who was a village chief, clan chief. And he always spoke last. Simon Sinek built it in his famous book, Leaders Eat Last, saying that whenever you are there, in whatever you are doing, be the last to speak, but be the first to listen. That's how you influence. People will tell you, they will expose what they are thinking. Bismarck used this. Napoleon's used the same technique. That's why they ruled. Hitler, listening. So you need to learn how to listen. The second is acknowledge as a leader. Before you criticize, first acknowledge. I watch TV. Actually, I stopped watching news. I see these leaders who come to criticize the government. I'm not saying it has done 100%, but start with acknowledging. Man, I've moved from Kampala to Gulu, the road is. How can I start saying that I've not worked? I will say, by the way, that road from, on the bus, somebody told us that the late Cafero sang a song those years, referring to this lady who had, I think, dumped dumped him saying she looked like the road of Tirinyi. I wasn't there. But acknowledge that there is something before you criticize. The other is ask for clarity. Don't just rush. Clarity is key. It gives you direction as a leader. You know what you're approaching. And once you do that, people are able to understand the values, to understand what you stand for, and be able to be influenced by what you stand for. The fourth one to go is social skills. Look at those elephants. Aren't they beautiful? Do you know what social skills do? They act as a bridge. You are a leader. You're not representing your own interests. You're representing the interests of the people you're in charge of. I even hate the word, the people you lead. No, you're just in charge of them for that time. You won't lead them forever. Somebody else will come. But what do you do when you're with them? And social skills help you to connect the bridge. You're listening, you acknowledge, you're understanding. Do you know what the word understanding means? We have used it for a very long time. And you've learned it for a very long time. Understanding, the two words, under and stare. So you need to come from up and down to understand, as the word says. So you come and be the people, because you're listening to them, you know their pinch, you've heard their stories. And when you say, I have a dream, everybody is dreaming the same dream. That's what Martin Luther King's speech was the world's greatest, because he had understood the people's voice. So when he spoke, he influenced because everybody aligned with the same vision. So be able to understand what your people are saying. Now, when we talk about social skills, I want to go, the myth is just conflict is bad and could be avoided. Many of us avoid conflicts, but that's not the way forward. We need to face them, because out of facing them, we become better and we grow if we are willing to learn. Just as how gold becomes pure after going through the furnace. You become pure after I've met people from the northern region. Guys are hard. You don't tell them scrap all this petty stuff. No. They are hard because the circumstance made them who they are. You don't scare them. You don't shake them. So are you willing to go through the furnace, but don't volunteer to go there? The second is social skills are only out for the people that speak well, the eloquent speaking. No, people can speak very well, but a desert, they say a forest of words and a desert of points. So eloquency does not mean influence. Finally, some people are just naturally good. No, they are not naturally good. When you go behind the doors, they are putting in the work. They are putting in the effort. The RCC told us that we need to read. As we're here, as a student, the first thing you need to do is to be a student, learn. Put in the work. And you will reap later. How do we build our social skills? One, use the word I. I'm a lawyer by profession. And every time I'm bringing an idea, I say I'm entitled to my miserable opinion. I'll say I believe, I think, I imagine. Will you hold me accountable? Or will you say you talked about, no, it is me, that is my opinion. If you differ with me, create your own opinion. So learn how to use I, because I solves problems at one point. The other is that you need to listen. I've talked about listening. I'm not going to talk about it. Collaboration. Look at, how many of us know how to claim ladders? How many of us know how to claim ladders? A ladder has how many? The traditional ladder has how many sides? Yeah, sides. 2 sides. It has 2 pillars. In between, there are rods. That ladder cannot stand if it has no rods. And the ladder cannot stand if it's not placed on something that is so hard. Collaboration. Each side of a ladder needs the rod, and it needs to be placed on something to go up and come down. It has no beginning, it has no end. The end can be the beginning. Connection. The people you're seated with may have the answers to your life problems. The fifth is decision making. Every leader makes a decision. How do you make the decision? The myth that we have is quick decision making are better decisions. No, they are not. You're rushing, you're using emotions, just irrational. At the end of the day, you'll be like, why did I do this? Because you didn't stop and you didn't try to understand. The other is more information always leads to better decisions. It doesn't. A desert of words and a forest of words and a desert of points. The other is leaders should make decisions alone. You can't make a decision alone. Jesus Christ had 12 disciples. Within the 12 disciples, he had the inner circle. How many people do you have that make up who you are? Your inner circle. That will help you. Accountability. Who are you accounted to, as they normally ask? Finally, how do we make better decisions? Our blueprint, 1, gather diverse perspectives. How do you gather diverse perspectives? You listen to the people in church, the people in the house. What are they saying? You listen to understand, not listen to criticize, to contribute to analyze. The other is you have to evaluate the emotions of the people. Why are people taking up the decisions they are taking? Why? Find it out. They gave us an example that the people in northern Uganda, some organization wanted to create boreholes. Yeah, I know many of you know this scenario. And they thought the problem was they did not have water. When they created new boreholes, these guys did not use the new boreholes that they built. The question is, why didn't they use the new boreholes? The answer lies in there. They did not evaluate the emotions of the people in that area. Why were they visiting these same areas or these boreholes? And finally, think long term. Don't be pushed by instant gratification to an extent that today somebody blue ticks you and you're like, and calls you. I sent you a message on WhatsApp. You blue ticked me. Entitlement. Or you want instant gratification. Everything has to be done now and forever. No, it does not. The other is motivation. We all know that motivation takes us for a very short distance. But within motivation, helps us to be who we are today. We work better, we understand better, we relate better because there's something we are. Many of you I know may have come because we said there is no. But inside you know the truth. Anyhow, finally, how can we use emotional intelligence to transform our leadership abilities? 1, you need to check in with your brain. Every time, check in. Ask your brain, what are you talking about? What are you thinking? Yeah? Thinking, ask. The second is check with your heart. How am I feeling? How does this thinking check my feeling? And finally, manage your body, your physiology. Do you know yourself? Can you be yourself? Do you understand yourself? Are you proud of yourself? That will lead you to become a better leader and lead effectively. Oops. And in your toolkit, as you navigate the troubled waters that I started with, you need something. You need a toolkit, you need a compass. And in that toolkit, 1, you need to learn how to schedule whatever you want to change. When you leave this place today, information is power, I say, but applicability of that information is your superpower. Put a timeline to say, when I leave here, I'm going to keep checking with my brain. What am I thinking? What am I thinking? How am I feeling? How am I feeling? How am I acting? Start, give it a timeline. The second, listen to everyone. Guys, everybody has something to say. And they are the connecting piece that is leading you to your destination. You need them as much as they need you. The myth that if you find yourself you're the smartest in the building, run away, it is wrong. Before you run, have you understood the people in the house? Do you know what they're saying? And finally, a story of courage. Always put your body or your entire body first, because that is what is harboring everything. And once you put it there, then you will be able to live happy and fulfilled. But as I conclude, I want to tell you that trapped in every body of us is a garden. A story of courage. Trapped in that body that you're having today is a garden. And you have a choice, because you have so many crops growing in that garden. You have the thoughts, you have the emotions, you have the feelings, you have the energy that is pushing you to act. But the strongest and the most intelligent and the most happiest and the most fulfilled are those that are able to control what they grow in that garden. You have 2 choices: to either grow seeds or plants, or to grow weeds. If you choose to grow plants, we shall rise and we shall lead effectively. If you decide, and I don't recommend anybody who has attended this training to grow wheat. If you grow wheat, you become a statistic. How many people? 14 million. And if you don't become a statistic, you will lose the power, the authority that people have given or have entrusted you with. But together, we can rise, we can lead, and we can make this world a better place. Thank you so much.